Welcome to Straight Talk Recovery. My name is Maurice Ruffin.
I'm Keith DeBose.
And I'm Eric Amron.
And here today we're going to talk about Eric O, which we call him Coach E. You know what I'm saying? When we be saying, hey, come on, E, this is the guy we're talking about. Big good friend of ours, big part of recovery. One thing when I say I remain teachable is this brother here helps me understand a lot about my job. Things in recovery, even about the podcast. He brings a lot to the table. And I'm very proud to have him a part of this and part of our team.
The pleasure's mine, man.
And so, I just want you to introduce yourself to the family and friends. And somebody want to give a shout out to
My girl Becky. She in the hospital, broken back. Heal up and got you in our prayers.
also Vonia Corals from Riverside, California. Starting Over Incorporation. She's been a big part of my recovery, introduced me to recovery. I want to give a shout out to her and her organization, and family and friends. Thank you for supporting us. We're trying to do this to help others, and we're going to continue doing this. But right now, the time is for E, and we're going to let him share his story, where he at. We might ask a few questions, and we appreciate that y'all tune in and listen to him. Thank you.
I mean, my story is probably the same as most other people's. I was locked up. I sold 2 ounces of cocaine to an undercover cop. When I got out of prison, I was told by my parole officer I had to get a job.
Okay.
Right. So I worked in a steel mill. I had to go through a temp agency, like, how that
Everybody else.
Right. And I was working at a steel mill at the time, and I remember these big steel sheets that were coming down. It sliced through my glove, and had to get 8 stitches in my hand. And the doctor gave me 60 Vicodin 750 ESs. And the thing that I remember most about when I took my first pill was it didn't just take away the physical pain, it took away the mental pain too.
Okay.
Like it actually shut off everything in my mind, and like it started normally with like a pill a day, and then it went to 2, and then, my doctor did right by me. He cut me off, I started doctor shopping. At one point before the match.
Not to cut you off, and you kept sharing your story. You said you doctor shopping.
Yep.
Can you explain that to the people? Because some people probably won't understand when you say doctor shopping.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. So when and this was before the MAP system, and what that is it's a tracking system now for all narcotics, but it wasn't always that way.
Right.
To where you could have many different doctors and many different pharmacies filling orders on the same day.
Exactly.
Right.
And I had 5 different doctors, each prescribing me 120 Lorcet 10s.
Okay.
Right? Because at the max use, I was taking 36 Norco 10s a day. Like I would take them in 6 sets of 6. It seems like everybody kind of has their own number as to how many they took. Mine was 6 sets of 6. I would have to chew 6 before I even got out of bed.
Okay.
And I did a lot of illegal things. I wasn't a friend. I wasn't a husband. I wasn't a son. I was just somebody that wanted my drug.
Right.
And it's crazy because addiction and recovery are very narcissistic things.
Yes.
Like when you're in addiction, it's all about you.
Right.
When you're in recovery, it has to be all about you, right? So it's very narcissistic in there.
Right.
My wife wound up leaving me. She just had enough of my bull crap, And I always say the best thing she ever did for me was leave me, because like we were codependent on each other. And when she was gone, it was just now I had to deal with the silence.
Right.
And it was very loud.
Now I want to say, when you say codependency, I think that a lot of us in recovery are codependent.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
On something or someone.
Someone,
Yeah.
And I see it a lot in the program, working for the program, treatment program. People come in and they want to attach to something.
Right. Or someone.
Right. And I try to express you're the most important person in this recovery.
Right.
Don't focus on, can I meet this young lady or can I meet this guy? We both getting and we both here on recovery. We can probably make it, and we know
build something.
So, yeah,
We think like that though.
yeah,
Mo.
that's
You know what I'm saying?
yeah. And I just think that's yeah, we want somebody to be there to help us communicate through going through the treatment program. It's almost like jail.
Right.
You want to have a pen pal.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Somebody that, hey, baby, or whatever, just to give you that comfort, that sensibility of being wanted or need, and it's sad.
Yeah.
Because it is a distraction in recovery.
Yeah.
Or especially early.
Early, yes, most
Yeah.
definitely.
Like one thing that they always say is don't make any big decisions your first year.
Right.
Don't buy a car, don't buy a house, don't get into a relationship, because as your brain heals, your taste for things are going to change,
Right.
right? And the last thing you want to do is be stuck in the middle of something like a relationship, and now you're like, I can't stand this person. How do I tell them that?
Right. I don't even know them.
Right. Exactly.
Because you gotta. I feel when you're meeting somebody early in recovery, and you're getting yourself healthy and clean mentally and physically,
Right.
and you meet this person and you really don't even know them because you don't even know where they're from, their background,
You don't care.
what they've been through.
Right.
They're
just a voice.
Yeah,
That
and
comfort.
or eyesight.
Right.
I can see you physically, but I don't
Right.
know what's in the inside. And when that person hasn't addressed certain issues, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like certain issues about them, and that comes out, it's like, oh, what did I run myself into?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? What did I get myself into?
100%.
And then it becomes, well, I want to be with you, and then this person, you know how that bickering
Yeah,
goes.
that's a bad situation
Right.
to be in. So.
Right. And that could force you back using again, because like now it's like you're breaking somebody's heart, or you're constantly arguing, and you think the addiction's the way out,
Right. And you can get brought back into
Right.
one fall off.
Behind a breakup.
Yeah, right.
A breakup that's somebody that you thought you really cared for, and
Right.
then you find out different. But this ain't that.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? This ain't that.
Right.
And I'm gonna go further than that. It could be she crazy,
Right.
or you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's all about your perspective and how you look at the situation, as far
Right.
as
Right.
her, what she do, and that don't mesh with you. You
Right.
know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because we all get into a relationship to mesh together.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
We
Or have
also-
something in common.
We will want something in common.
Right.
And I would say this: being in addiction for a period of time, you really lose sight on that type of stuff.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
lose sight on what you really want in that significant other, or what you want out of a person, looking for out of a person, because you can't really. And I'm gonna just say this: you can't force anybody to be what you want.
Right.
You gotta accept them as they are.
Exactly.
And if that mess with you,
That's a good thing.
if you can deal with it and say, hey, I can submit to this. I can bend to this.
Because
And
guess what? We can't fix nobody.
we can't even fix ourselves.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But I think that's the whole point. Like contrary to what people think, addiction was never the problem. Addiction is a symptom, but more so, it was my solution.
Mine
Right.
too.
Right.
My,
To the
my
problem
way to
we
get
had.
away from.
Right.
And this is why I like this guy, because he gonna put it in the right perspective.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He gonna put it in the right perspective, so we can share that with the people out there, and have an understanding. Family and friends, those who not even in addiction or recovery, that you will understand your family members also.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you'll know how to approach them in a way. And we would love for you guys and ladies, gentlemen, everybody to reach out to us, so we can help those who are out there struggling. So, E, now I would say, what made you, what at what point in your life when you was like, hey, I'm done?
So my clean date is 4/4/15, and I remember that day very well, because I woke up in an abandoned house, and like my face was stuck to the sheet, like I was so dirty and nasty, right? I mean, like up here, like when you ain't have power, you don't have a toilet, you don't have
Right.
water,
Right.
and like I remember just like, and I made this deal with myself, and I remember saying either, I'm gonna find recovery today, or I'm gonna take the $700 I just got back to my tax return. And I'm gonna buy every drug I can find and take it all at once because I was completely done.
Mhm.
Like I could not live another day like I was. And with God's grace, I found Nemesis and Gaylord. And I remember walking in there and I scared the hell out of the executive director because I slammed the money on the table and I said, listen, you don't know me from Adam, but if you don't help me today, I'm going to take every bit of that money and I'm going to buy every drug I can find and I'm going to take it all at once.
And that's so serious.
Right. I mean, and like,
Desperation.
and like there was, she waited to talk for like a couple seconds, but it felt like a lifetime. And she got up and she walked past me and shut the door. And the person I'm talking about, her name is Sue. She's a short little lady and she does this. And I lean down and she wraps her arms around me and she goes, we're going to help you. And I remember like my knees gave out, like I buckled. But they did, like they put me in front of all the other people. I saw the doctor that day, and then I started taking doses of methadone each day.
Okay.
And ideally, they wanted me on it for 2 years, but like I said, I was done with chemicals. So I walked it down in 8 months, and then I got an Vivitrol shot.
And I like the fact that you said that, like you was done with all chemicals.
Right.
And I'm a firm believer, if you're gonna stop and you want the help, you gotta be absent from a lot of, you can't wean me from, okay, here it is, I'm a heroin user, and then I'm gonna take this certain thing. And to me, it's like prolonging, because if you just don't happen to have this drug or substitute, you'll go back.
Right. And it'll make you go back more.
Yeah.
And
I've seen that a lot. So I really promote that shot.
Right.
I really do. I do promote that shot. I understand where people have to wean themselves down from their substance, their drug DLC.
And one of the things that I do want to say is if you're taking methadone or Suboxone to get off of drugs, you are in recovery. There's this common misconception where you're still on an opiate, you're not in recovery. That's total bullcrap. You know what I mean?
Let me say this, but it's how you use it too, E.
100%.
It's how you use
Right.
it. If you got to take that stuff the way they prescribe it to you.
It's prescribed. But
if you just taking it when you feel like you need it, that ain't right.
Right. Like you have to have a program.
Exactly.
You gotta have a program. I agree with
like
you
how
on
you said
that.
it.
Because people we abuse shit. We just flat out we abuse.
Right.
It's our nature.
And I just like the shot. I like to see people take that shot because it's that I gotta
like a
have
safety
this.
net.
To me, it's like if you're looking forward to these. This ain't going to the methadone, because I've been with someone that had went to the methadone and it was chaotic. It's just like chasing at that particular time. This person, don't just say this person, not everybody. It was like her chasing drugs.
Her drug of choice.
Like I gotta get there, I gotta get.
Yeah.
And it was like on a daily basis. And so that's why I said I promote, because that shot I see people don't have to be reliant daily to get
you
something.
got it.
Right.
You got it.
Yeah.
You get it and it holds you for them 90 days.
And you keep moving on in life. You can start get your focus more on life.
Right.
But if it's prescribed and a person taking it properly, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I truly believe that, and I've seen someone take their Suboxones like the doctor ordered, and it kept them mellow.
I took them as prescribed.
Yeah.
Right.
But guess what? I weaned myself off of it.
Yeah.
Right. That's just me. Everybody's different. We have, ain't no rights or wrongs. It's just the fact that I choose to see people take that shot.
Right.
And that's just where I'm at with it. But this ain't about a debate, because they got to do what you got to do.
Exactly.
Right.
You know,
It's
that's-
survival.
it's-
Everybody's, has their own opinion about things,
Right.
everybody's entitled to that, but I don't think that your opinion should be to hurt somebody in recovery by
No,
saying certain things. I mean, the
I
facts
don't
are the
wanna-
facts,
Yeah, I don't want to have nobody feel like, oh, he gets and I'm not.
No.
It's just, I like to see people take the shot because I just think it'll keep you mentally in a different mindset of I have to have.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
And
learn
then
how to
say
live life.
it like this: what works for you might not work for me.
Right.
And it's vice versa with all of us.
That's true.
So
That's true.
if it worked for you, use it.
Yeah.
Just use it the right way.
Use it the right way. I can't take shit.
One of the things that I notice and it comes more and more clear every day is everybody's program is individualized.
Exactly.
Just like no fingerprints the same, no program is the same, right?
Right,
I mean,
exactly.
they could be similar,
Yeah.
but they're not the same.
Same.
You
Yeah.
know?
I like the way you put that. Everybody, ain't no print the same. Ain't
Right.
nobody's recovery the same because
Exactly.
some people do the faith based.
Yeah.
Some do, like I say, the Dharma, smart recovery.
It's what
and
works for you.
What works
Right.
for me.
Yeah.
And we spoke on that last night. I did a chair and that kind of came up about hearing someone say something about what's struggling at a meeting.
Yeah.
And I said, well, what really caught my attention was when I heard a guy mention something every week. Every time he chaired, he said the same. I mean, not chaired, but every time he spoke, he said the same thing
Over and over.
over and over.
Mhm.
And it just clicked. That's what keeps him sober.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's the message, not the messenger. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I always say, listen to the message, not the messenger, because you don't know what's saving a person,
Mhm.
what they use to keep them sober.
Yeah.
So, okay, well, finish up there, Coach E.
So I remember a year into my recovery, I had just left the therapy session and I was having like a really good day. It was a warm April day. And I got in my truck and I'm driving down Main Street and I stopped at a red light right in the middle of Gaylord and I rolled my window down and the wind, it came through and it just like hit my face and it felt so soft and smelled so sweet that it literally rolled my eyes in the back of my head. And then like while my eyes are closed, I'm starting to hear like these birds. It's like they're singing to me. And I open my eyes and it's just like, absorbing them all the colors, like the grass and the white of the snow and the white of the clouds. I pull over and I call my coach and I'm like, Coach. He goes, what's up, kid? I said, Coach, I swear to God, I haven't used, but I feel high.
Right.
And he says, tell me about it. So I told him about, like how the wind felt caressing my face and how the birds were singing to me and the colors. And he paused. And it was literally the only time he ever called me Eric. He goes, Eric, this is your dopamine. It's firing again. This is what you were covering up with drugs and alcohol. And I didn't even know my colors were gone until I got them back.
That's crazy.
Like that's how gradual this thing is taken from you. And at the time, I still hadn't made, my peace with God. And he tells me, he says, he goes, you're about as close to God as you're going to be right now. Go to a park and just kind of hash it out. And I always did what my coach told me because everything he told me worked.
Right.
So I went to the park in the middle of Atlanta, Michigan, and I was laying on the park bench, right, looking up at the sky, and it was just so beautiful. I was crying. People probably thought I was nuts, like a big guy laying on a park, just looking up, crying, right? And like I didn't even care. That was the crazy part. And like me and God, we hashed it out. And I remember getting in the car, and I was like, "What is this feeling that I'm feeling?" And what I realized is it didn't matter what choices I made in the past, like what roads I took. Getting divorced, all roads converged onto that park, and I was supposed to be there on that day at that time. And there's no drink or drug in the world that can make you feel as good as knowing that you're right where you're supposed to be.
So let me ask you something. So you get your dopamines back?
Yeah,
See, I never heard that.
yeah. Like the moment you stop using drugs, your brain is on the healing process, right? And everything in your brain over time will heal. like for example, like with people using meth,
Right.
like meth will burn out those receptors to the point to where like it will take a long time to heal, but they do heal, and
Right.
and
Over time.
right,
Over
and there
time.
is life after drug use, and it can be a remarkable life. You know what I mean? Like I've been on so many people's journeys through coaching through Families Against Narcotics, being a recovery coach for Bear River. Then it was a case manager, and now I'm a counselor there, and it's like I'm the blessed one because I get to encounter these amazing people
Yes.
who don't know that they're amazing.
Yes.
Because,
Right,
because
right.
they're
And I
beat
try to-
down, and we get to show them, like, look how remarkable you are. You chose life in a world where death you thought was your only option, and you were courageous enough to get in the van,
To
right,
get help.
and come, right?
Right.
And like they don't think that that's such a big deal, but it's a huge deal because most people don't choose that.
And I would say this, and I just experienced this last week, and a guy had this coin, and I'm seeing him flip like these two coins, and I said, he gave you those,
Yeah.
and he said, oh man, that gesture that you did by giving, and that's what you do.
Yeah.
That's what you do, and I love that. You give those coins out, and people be so happy they was given something to help them in their journey.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's that beginning, and it's like this, the Gatorade.
Yeah.
The reason why I gotta mention this about the Gatorade,
He said the Gatorade.
I gotta mention this, and I say the only reason why y'all drink so much Gatorade is because the color.
Yeah.
Which okay, do give you electrolytes and all that, but
Right.
you're not an athlete, so you need to drink a
Right.
couple of them. Then after that, down water.
Yeah.
Get that H2O in.
Yeah.
And so that coin, those coins, is a significance, man, to people that's early when they come through those doors, man.
Yeah.
He was so ecstatic. So it's hard to explain unless you see his face, how he felt. Because he was just there holding them, and I said, he did something good there. You know, because it means a lot. Go ahead.
Right. Well, like one of the things is like I don't give everybody points. It's the ones that I worry about.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
The ones that
yeah.
I feel like need that extra love, that extra attention, you know. And I explain what each coin means, and like every coin that I give out are coins that I have in my personal collection. So it's like I kind of let them know like how to use the coins and how the coins will, you know, like for example, I have a coin, it's Saint Michael the Archangel.
Right.
You know, he's the finder of lost souls. And I was like, hey, look, he just found you, right?
Right. And it helps.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I still got the ones you gave me. I'm a recipient of those coins that he gave. You know,
I'm feeling some type of way. I ain't getting no coins.
I will give you
I'm just joking.
You're gonna get them.
He get a personal
bringing
one. Give me one with a hammer in his head. But E, I'm gonna say this, man. I'm so proud that you finally showed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I
Yeah, we've
had
been
some
calling
health
for
stuff.
you.
Yeah,
So-
I had some health stuff I had.
Yeah, well, we know that. That's why we.
Yeah,
we've been
giving you a
praying
shout
for
out.
you.
Right.
You know, you're a part. I told you this. I told you that from the beginning, man.
Yeah.
You're a part of this. We're gonna grow.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Us three
Together.
going, and one of our goals is to. I'm gonna just say this. I want us to be able to go different places. Reach out to us.
Yeah.
We like to come to your town, your sober living housing, wherever, if park or wherever we got to do
Right,
these podcasts,
Yeah.
so y'all can share y'all story.
You
To
know,
help somebody else.
one of the things that I love about people in recovery is like how we can like create other things. You know,
Right.
like we got this podcast, you know, and like I've got a friend named Dylan and Sarah who just started a nonprofit, you know,
Okay.
named Recovery Works, right?
Right.
And like they're doing shirts and hats and all that stuff, and like what they've done in a year is just remarkable. They're both in recovery.
Shout out to 'em.
Yep. Dylan and Sarah, Recovery Works. I love you. Thanks for the gear. I'll be getting more of it.
Yeah.
You guys are awesome. And if you guys want to be connected to Dylan and Sarah, just leave a comment down below and we'll get you connected.
There we go.
Yeah.
So we're gonna end this podcast. First, I want to say each one of us got something to say before we leave. We thank you guys and women for tuning in to this podcast. Keith,
remember, life is about choices. And what you choose is what you live with.
It's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice.
And I'm gonna say this before we go: remain teachable.
Yeah.
Peace.
Damn. That went good.
Yeah.
That went good.
That was good.
That went good.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Winging it.
Yep.
Winging it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we could talk about recovery all day.